So for today's intro, I had to break out the old voodoo because if you're my age, anywhere from 22 to 26 years old, you would know that this is the best Little League bat in the history of baseball bats. I mean, maybe that's an argument. But speaking of Little League, Gavin Ware yesterday threw his fourth no-hitter of the summer in 42 innings in the Little League World Series. This kid did not allow a single run, only allowed one hit in 42 innings, and struck out 114 hitters. That is the most dominant pitching performance in the history of Little League. But anyways, what's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to break down, so if this is your first time on the channel, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button because we do this every single day. And also, save yourself some money. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off any baseball games that you're going to anytime soon. Now, we have the Dodgers versus the Padres playing in what possibly was the game of the year. The Red Sox, they blew yet another game, and then Wander Franco as well as Fernando Tatis, they both made history yesterday. Usually what we do on this channel is we talk about the walk-offs first and foremost, and that's not going to change today. And the reason why is because the Marlins and the Nationals, there was a walk-off, but Edward Cabrera made his debut yesterday. If you have no idea who that is, he is an MLB The Show legend. This guy is going to be crazy good, and it was a fun matchup because he was going up against Josiah Gray, a top 50 prospect in all of Major League Baseball. Jorge Alfaro, he singles in Brian Anderson to make it 1-0, and then Edward Cabrera throws 6 shutout innings on 56 pitches. Holy efficiency. Brian Anderson goes yard to extend the lead, and then kind of all hell breaks loose for the Marlins as Edward Cabrera gives up back-to-back home runs to Josh Bell and Yadiel Hernandez. I was big time sad, but also happy because now he's not going to get a Diamond Tops Now card in MLB The Show, so it was kind of a win-win. Not really. Either way, Jesus Aguilar ties it up on a double in the 7th, and Jesus Sanchez throws out Carter Kieboom to make sure that the Marlins have a tie ball game going into the bottom of the 9th, and Jorge Alfaro, he walks it off. So a fun day for Marlins fans. They get the W. They had a pretty decent performance from Edward Cabrera. I mean, 6 shutout innings on less than 60 pitches. That is fantastic. Moving on over to another walk-off, we have the Astros versus the Royals. Alex Bregman was playing his first game since June 6th, so he was almost out for 3 months. I don't remember what his injury was, but it was significant enough to keep him out for that long. Martin Maldonado goes yard, and then Salvi, the dude, hit yet another home run to the point where I just said, psh, kind of like this guy. Yordan Alvarez is not fazed by any pitcher in baseball, including lefties. He muscles an opposite field home run, and then Bregman, he drives an RBI in the 6th inning as Whit Merrifield immediately answers with a grand slam. Just because they're facing the Astros, they should know that the Astros do not give up. They come back to tie it up at 5 runs apiece. This game goes to extras, and then Jake Myers, he walks it off. He now has a .316 batting average with 3 home runs and 12 RBIs and his first 57 at-bats. That's pretty good. Moving on to the third and final walk-off from yesterday, we have the Cardinals versus the Tigers. Paul Goldschmidt goes yard early on, and that was his 900th career RBI, and also he hits a second home run later on in the 3rd inning. Paul Goldschmidt, for his career, now has a 48.6 WAR and a 140 career OPS plus. I mean, sometimes when a player has a 140 OPS plus in a season, that's the best that they're ever going to do. He's done that over the course of 11 years. I truly think that he is on the course to be a Hall of Famer. It might be a 2nd, 3rd, 4th ballot, but the guy is incredible. John Lester had a weird start. He goes 5 innings, only allows 1 earned run, but he allowed 7 base hits on 2 different walks, so he was able to escape a few jams. Harold Castro, he clutches up against Alex Reyes, who blows his 3rd save of the year, and then Mars Fruit Bar, that's the nickname I gave him, I don't know, it's not funny. Lars Nootbaar, he walks it off in the bottom of the 9th. He now has a 121 OPS plus, so he is coming huge, both defensively and offensively, and this was a big-time win for the Cardinals because we're going to talk about it. The Padres and the Reds, they both lost, so now they're only 3.5 games back for 2nd place in the wild card. So because we just hinted at the Padres losing, let's go ahead and talk about yesterday's game. The Dodgers versus the Padres. 4 of the 5 longest games in 2021 are all LA versus San Diego. So Jake, he gets it started after an error and then scores on a Will Myers squibbler to 3rd base. Blake Snell versus Walker Buehler. This was a lot of fun to watch. Buehler, he doesn't allow a single earned run. He has 8 strikeouts in just under 7 innings. And Blake Snell, he had 7 shutout innings. It was the first time going into the 8th inning since 2018, and it kind of bit him in the butt because he allows a home run. One of the clutchest hitters in all of baseball, Will Smith, he does it again. And then from that point on, the Padres, they got no hit for 9 straight innings. Billy McKinney and Trey Turner, they opened the floodgates. I'm going to put that in quotations because it was only 2 runs, but in the context of yesterday's game, 1-1 going into the 15th inning, yeah, I guess you can say that was opening the floodgates. Tatis, he came into his 7th AB, 0 for 6 with 4 strikeouts. He had the golden sombrero, but that's because he was charging up. He is now the fastest 22-year-old in Major League Baseball history to 35 home runs. He did it in just 96 games. AJ Pollock, thank the Lord, ends the game, and Shane Green deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame just for closing out that game. The Dodgers win 5-3, and the Padres, they continue to stink it up. Speaking of stinking it up, I don't know if you can classify the Mets as that because they're losing a bunch of games by 1 or 2 runs, and that's exactly what happened yesterday against the Giants. Javier Baez, he is somehow able to defy physics. Anytime he slides or dives for a ball, it just doesn't make sense as he glides for this web gem. He shows off the magic in the 4th, and then speaking of magic, Chris Bryant's got a little bit of magic too. He has 5 home runs already as a member of the Giants, and the magic seemingly ran out in the next inning as he makes an error to allow the Mets to score, and then Dom Smith reclaims the lead on an RBI double, but then as soon as Taijuan Walker was taken out by the manager Rojas, it seems like the momentum and the morale of the Mets players as well as the fan base kind of shifted, because once you mess with morale, kind of the game escapes, and that's what happened. Brandon Crawford, he pops the balloon, and 2 blunders, one from Brandon Bell over at first base, and then one between Austin Slater and Alex Dickerson in the outfield. It was a scary 9th inning, but Jake McGee, he converts his 29th save already of the year, and the Giants barely squeak past the Mets. And again, the Mets, they're playing decent baseball, just their offense needs to pick it up. The Brewers versus the Reds, we have Luis Castillo making a pretty cool behind the back catch. This one gives me PTSD because this is exactly what happens in MLB The Show. Anytime you hit it to the pitcher, just spins and backhands it. You have Avi scoring Christian Yelich. Christian Yelich now has a 362 batting average over his last 14 games. Woodruff, he was lit up in his last start. He pitched angry yesterday. 10 strikeouts, did not allow a single walk, and threw 6 shutout innings, and then got some help from Avi Garcia throwing out a runner at second. Jace, he laces an RBI double to left, and then Avi, he robs a home run in the 8th inning as Milwaukee makes it a 4-0 game in the bottom half, and then Nick Castellanos, he goes 435 feet to try and spark a rally, but the Reds do take the L, and like I mentioned, the Padres lost, the Reds lost, so the Cardinals, they gained a game. Wander Franco made history yesterday in a win over the Phillies. He becomes the only 20-year-old since 1956 to have a 26 on base streak. I think the longest was 43 games back in 1956 from Frank Robinson, one of the greatest players in the history of Major League Baseball. That's how good this Wander Franco kid has been. Yandy makes it 2-1. Brandon Lau hits his 30th home run of the year, and then Bryce Harper goes to Ryan Howard territory. He ups his OPS plus to 167. He is having an MVP campaign yet again. That is 3 times in the last 6 or 7 years in which he is having an MVP year. He was having an MVP campaign, I think it was 2017, but then he messed up his knee going for a hard single at first base. Either way, Randy takes the lead on an RBI ground out, and then Hoskins, he ties it up. Even when he's injured, he is scary. And then Girardi, this loss is on his shoulders, just like the loss for the Mets is on Rojas. He left in Wheeler for far too long, and then Francisco Mejia pops a 3-run home run, and Colin McHugh, he closes the door as the Rays, they're on a 4-game winning streak, and they look incredibly good. I don't know how anyone is going to beat them in the American League. Maybe the Yankees, if they can catch fire and stay hot, because I don't know if the Red Sox are going to be able to do it at this point. So the Twins, they got some help from Andrelton Simmons. He singles for the early lead, and then Miguel Sano leaves the entire stadium 495 feet. That was the longest home run of the season for anyone, and he gave his bat to a kid because I guess in batting practice, he hit the kid in the noggin with a baseball, so that's not good. Jorge Polanco has been on a tear. 24 home runs, 76 RBIs. He has been a monster. The Red Sox end up scoring 2 in the 7th and the 8th, and then Kyle Schwarber completes the comeback. He ties it up at 4 a piece. Kyle Schwarber is just so much fun to watch. Josh Donaldson, this is so funny to me. He hits a leadoff, so he was the first hitter of the inning, but he was able to have 2 RBIs on 1 swing because of the stupid extra inning rule. So a leadoff 2-run blast, and then Jake Cave hits an actual 3-run shot off of Hansel Robles, who is now public enemy #1 for Boston fans. The Red Sox do end up scoring 2 in the bottom of the 10th, but it was not enough as they fall to 7.5 games back of first place. Now, luckily for them, they're still in second place for the wild card. Yeah, they're going to need that. The Jays versus the White Sox. This was one of the most MLB The Show sequences I've ever seen. 2 stolen bases from Garcia, and then a very late jammed RBI base hit from Yohan Moncada that extends his hitting streak to 12 games. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was flying and scores on an RBI triple from Alex Dickerson. And Robbie Ray, I call him Robbie Ray Gun, he is going to get paid this offseason because he's on a 1-year deal. He strikes out 14 on 1 walk in 7 innings. Now #1 in the American League for strikeouts and has a 2.72 ERA. He misses out on the W, though, because Giolito and the bullpen for the White Sox held it to a close game until the 8th when Kirk and Grichuk, they get the job done, and Jordan Romano converts his 13th save of the year. Again, I want to say that guy's nasty. The Orioles versus the Angels, a very stupid game in my opinion because Mullins, how dare this man hit a home run on the first pitch of the game against our savior Shohei Ohtani. I'm joking. Anthony Santander, he stays hot and pulls a pitch to right field for a solo shot. And then Brandon Marsh drives in 2 RBIs on a single right before Walsh belts one in the 4th. And Marsh, I want to talk about him yet again because he hits a 3-run home run to the other side for his first career home run. I am very happy for him. And then DJ Stewart starts the rally on a 2-run shot off of Ohtani. And the Angels walk in 2 more as they complete the implosion. Austin Hayes knocks in 2. And then Cedric Mullins makes it double-digit runs for the Orioles as they stop their 19-game losing streak. They're World Series bound. Moving on over to Cleveland versus Texas. We have Cleveland scoring 3 on 3 solo shots. So can we please get on base? For the love of God. Jason Martin answers back with a 2-run home run off of Plesac, but then Yu Chang and Owen Miller, they have Plesac's back. They drive in a few, and then Franmil Reyes goes 451 and leans back with it. This guy is just a joy to watch. We are back to 500, and just like the Orioles, we are ready for a playoff push. We're both going to win 20 games in a row. The Cubs and the Rockies played in a doubleheader yesterday. The Cubs got the best of the Rockies in game #1 as CJ Cron, I know they lost, but he had his 8th home run of August. He is hitting, I think, 400 in the month of August. He has been unstoppable. David Bodie answers with a solo home run of his own, and then Austin Romine in the 4th goes yard, and Rookie of the Year frontrunner, maybe aside from Jonathan India, Patrick Wisdom now has 21 home runs and a 127 OPS plus, along with pretty good defense, if I might say. And that's it for game 1. The Cubs win 5-2. The Rockies answer back in game #2. This was an offensive explosion. You have Rogers blasting off in the 1st for his 10th home run, and Connor Joe, he hits a grand slam. Both of those guys are having breakout seasons, and more so Connor Joe. The kid has been incredible. The Rockies go up 8-5, and then Ian Happ, he does not like the sound of that. He hits a 3-run wall scraper to tie it up, and this one has to go to extras after an error, and then Ryan McMahon does his thing. 362 feet into the basket. I wonder if the win had something to do with this, and then Rogers, he drives in 2 on a double. He has a 110 OPS plus on the season, and the Rockies win 13-10. The Diamondbacks, ooh, they got carved up by Bryce Wilson for 5 innings. He had 7 strikeouts, only 2 hits, and shut them out. But then the Pirates bullpen said, hey, we don't got this. Pavin Smith, his 10th home run leaves the yard on a stratospheric, is that a word? I have no idea. But this one, he hit that so far up in the air. David Peralta ties it up in the 6th, and then Carson Kelly gives the Diamondbacks a lead, and Peralta extends it with a 2-run double, and the Diamondbacks, they beat the Pirates, even though Bryce Wilson was really good. All right, everyone, with that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed or learned something new, leave a like and subscribe, and also use code Fuzzy to save yourself 20 bucks off, because who doesn't love saving money? All right, stay safe out there. Thanks for watching. Enjoy this day in MLB history.
Deep right field. Deep right. It's over. It's over. Georgia wins it.